season until today. Every minute, every action, every dollar was invested towards a trip to the Super Bowl. The events of today define men's careers. Could this man possibly lose 3 straight on this stage? Could this man pull off a medical miracle? Would the league's most terrifying defense make a statement? Or would the Super Bowl be somehow struck by lightning? The build-up is over. The talk is over. And after an entire season of hype and predictions, today was the final mile on the road to the Super Bowl. Well, we now have a clue at who we're going to see a fortnight from now in Miami. Welcome to Championship Game Primetime. I'm Chris Berman. Some guys that have been in this championship game before and have won them all. Tom Jackson, Joe Theismann. We got plenty of action this show and plenty of comments. So why don't we, as somebody once said, kick the ball off?
Rock on.
Here we go, eh? Well, the AFC title game, well, it was all set up, wasn't it? Everybody expected Pittsburgh to restore the echoes of the 70s. Into town came weary San Diego, picked to finish dead last in the AFC West. They've flown more miles than anybody in pro football this year, 43,000 and counting. Lifetime, the Lightning Bolts at Pittsburgh, 1-9. Since the merger, only one team in championship game history favored by 7 or more had lost, and the Steelers came in 9.5-point favorites. Sunday, surely it would be nuts for the Bolts. After all, at Three Rivers Stadium, the terrible towels were swinging. Par! That's the way they've been playing defense this year. But Bobby Ross's resilient Chargers would have none of those negative numbers. The negative number for them was Neil O'Donnell was brilliant all day. Here he hits one of the Mills brothers. Ernie Mills makes the catch. Then it's O'Donnell to Andre Hastings. Should be wearing number 1066 for the Battle of Hastings. That was 18 yards on 3rd down. Then 4th and 2, Cowher gambles early. O'Donnell to Hastings. 11-yard gain down to the 21-yard line, Joe.
Does a nice job of getting out into the pattern. You'll see O'Donnell make the good throw. That was an excellent catch.
Steelers trying to do it on the ground, but San Diego was there all day. Barry Bananas Foster's taken for dessert by Leslie O'Neal. Little X on the ground, O'Donnell to John L. Williams. He had a great hand, gets by Dennis Gibson. Touchdown Pittsburgh on their first possession of the game. A 67-yard drive at 13 plays.
Great job of pass protection by that front line, and you see Williams do a good job of getting away from Gibson and then barreling into the end zone.
Neil O'Donnell on his way to an unbelievable game, setting championship records for attempts. Still in the first quarter, Barry Foster. Oh, it's an unusual occurrence for the Steelers. It's a fumble. Darren Carrington recovers, Joe.
Barry Foster trying to pick up that extra yards like he always has. Chargers do a good job. They stay with him. They know it's wet. The ball is stripped. It's on the ground. Darren Carrington says, it's mine. It's mine.
The Steelers had the fewest turnovers all year, just 17, but Foster and Woodson caught the ball up early. Then, how are the Chargers' offense? Natron means business. Big Isaac Davis, their top draft pick, is at left guard. He says, I've been running well since you've been there. But when we pass, it's Brinson Buckner with the sack, and the terrible towels are out. Then, Humphreys. The big play Chargers. Sean Jefferson is hauled down right here by Deion Figures. It goes like a 40-yard pass interference play, but it's going to be a good play by Figures.
Yeah, a good play because it saved a touchdown.
Well, you figure inside the 2, you'd get it in. But San Diego has trouble inside the red zone. Natron Means stopped on 1st down. Then he shall be a Levon Kirkland. He was a good man. Made the play on 2nd down. Then on 3rd down, he shall be Levon. And it holds Bobby Ross and the Chargers to a field goal by John Carney. Instead of tying the game, it's 7-3 Pittsburgh. And the fans sense a Super Bowl trip. Bill Cowher and the Steelers lead at 10-3 at halftime. They have never lost a game in which they led at the half this year. So all these negative numbers like this, 1 for 5 for Stan Edwards for 15 yards. But on the first possession, Humphreys throws a bad pass. Rod Woodson, he's trying to get something going, but he forced that ball, Joe.
What happens is he gets flushed out of the pocket, and as he does, he thinks he can make a play with his arm, but he can't, and the towels love it, and Bobby Ross hates it.
So on the first drive of the 3rd quarter, the Steelers converted to a field goal at 13-3. But then, Humphreys, 43 yards, to Alfred Papunu platter. Look at him lug the sashimi and the lomi salmon into the end zone, and the Chargers are pulled to within 3, 13-10, and the Steelers crowd and players are silent.
Yeah, you watch the replay, you see Carnell Lake as well as number 21, Deion Figures, both react as they read Papunu behind them. They didn't read the play-action pass. Papunu into the end zone.
Papunu playing a big role. Here we go again to Papunu Platter, lugging the teriyaki mahi-mahi, lugging the coconut shrimp for 22 yards. Then, 3rd and 14, Humphries, Tony Martin, just over 5 minutes to go. It's a touchdown. The impregnable Steelers defense has given up 2 big plays to the big play Chargers, Joe.
Tony Martin does a great job of starting outside on Tim McKyer. Then he just goes up and gets the ball and winds up with a touchdown. Oh, my.
Oh, the Chargers, Joe, have the lead, and Neil O'Donnell would throw for over 300 yards, has to bring it back. Down 17-13. O'Donnell to Eric Green for 18 yards. O'Donnell to John L. Williams, played a large role for 7 yards. O'Donnell to Ernie Mills. You only hurt the one you love for 13 yards. O'Donnell to John L. Now, here he stays in bounds. It wouldn't matter, but at the time it looked like that might have been a questionable play. John L. now gets the ball. 4-yard gain down to the Charger 39. O'Donnell to Eric Green. Oh, he was 7 for 7 in his drive down to the 30. O'Donnell to the big fella Green again. That seam down the middle open all day against the Chargers. 1st and goal at the 9. Barry Bananas Foster, but the Chargers did what they did all day, wrapping up the running game, no gain. 1st and 2nd and goal, O'Donnell to Green. Dennis Gibson with a pick play. Nice play on the strumming on the guitar. O'Donnell to John L. Down to the 4. Junior Seau makes the tackle. 4th down. Chargers hoping. Steelers call timeout. Bill Cowher and O'Donnell, well, again, just a chortle on the sidelines. But on 4th and 4, the smile would turn to frown as Dennis Gibson makes his 2nd big play. Oh, they're strumming the guitar for Gibson, for Cowher and the Steelers. Oh, they pull out the terrible towel to the Chargers. Timmy McKyer burned on the bomb that won the game, had to be helped off. And in the biggest upset in the history of the championship game since the merger, the 9.5-point dog Chargers beat the Steelers 17-13, holding the vaunted Steeler running game, which had almost 240 last week, to just 66 yards. Very few believe, as our Mark Malone found out after the game.
You guys came out early in the ball game throwing the football. Were you a little concerned that you were going to get taken out of this?
Wait. I got a question. Who'd you pick?
Pittsburgh.
Hey, I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. You know, all week long, you know, we got disrespected. You know, they were planning Super Bowl videos, Super Bowl parties. You know, we got disrespected from San Diego to Pittsburgh.
Well, we knew that their bread and butter was the running game. And, you know, before we even stepped in the stadium, the big issue was how are we going to stop the running game? Well, what we did was go out there and play smash mouth football with a great team called the Pittsburgh Steelers.
It came down to that last final play, and, you know, I think the guy 57 made a pretty good play. You know, getting his finger in there, Barry told me it was about an inch, you know, and he said 1 more inch and we would have had it. So it's a tough loss, and it's going to be a hard one to swallow.
Come back next year with even a more intent desire to get back here, because what took place the last 2 weeks in the city was very exciting. And I think the prospects that we felt that were ahead of us was very exciting. And we were very close.
Let me get the terrible towel going. Let us read it first. You gotta. Let us read it first. That is not a San Diego towel. That's a Pittsburgh towel. It's called the terrible towel. What is terrible?
It's called the terrible towel. Yeah, what a rap video? They Super Bowl video.
Yeah. Practice video. No, they gotta do it off the leg. Tell them we came, we saw, and we kicked their.
Oh, those rambunctious lightning bolts. Having a good time, aren't they? And they earned it. Just this note on San Diego's season. Week 1 at Denver, down 24-6. They come back, set the tone for the whole season. Biggest game of the regular season, Week 11 in the rain at Kansas City, down 13-0. They win 14-13, essentially clinched the division. Last week against Miami, down 21-6. This week, down by 10 at the half. The team just doesn't understand. Well, the numbers don't add up because big plays and resiliency bring them back time and again, Tom.
Marvelous effort, and to the victor goes the spoils.
And the towels.
And the towels, as we saw right there. We talked about a couple of things this morning. 1 time of possession in the first half. Pittsburgh 22-11 advantage over the San Diego Chargers. Should have put more points on the board. But when it came to what defined this game, it was the ability of the Chargers to stop the Steelers from running the football.
The Chargers did what they do best. They ran when they had to, and Stan Humphries delivered on the big plays. That's the way that offense runs. Bobby Ross wants them to put it down the field. That's exactly what he did, Boom.